In Ely, a volunteer-run community response team came together as a result of these fires, transforming the lobby of the historic State Theater and becoming a central hub for individuals impacted by the wildfire. One of the founders, Roose, joins me now. Emily, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so it sounds like your organization has run its course. It's played its purpose, and now today is the last in-person day at the historic State Theater. Talk to me about why you are closing up shop.
Yeah, we're closing up shop because we have things have opened back up in Ely. Ely is most certainly open. People have been able that were evacuated have now been able to go back to their homes, and the air quality is much better. So we're not really seeing a need for people to come in. And people have already been connected with a lot of the resources to learn about how these fires are impacting them and get all the updates. We will still do some pop-ups here and there, but we don't feel the need to be in person every single day, and we'll still have our resources available for people to pick up.
I'm curious how this group came to be.
Yeah, so someone who used to work for the Forest Service gave me a call and told me that a big problem during these uh, big natural disasters is people wanting to donate. And some of those donations are really cool and really helpful, but it overwhelms the people trying to respond to these natural disasters. And so we created a group to try to actually fill needs that are coming in. So we have a form, we connect or get the needs, and then we're also getting a lot of people's offers and what they do. And so we connect people who have a need with someone who's willing to fulfill that offer. So that way we're not overwhelming resources with lots of donations and things. And then we were able to channel some of that energy towards more economic development and encouraging people to shop local. So when they would come in and tell us that they wanted to donate, we're like, how about you actually go eat out and shop in town at a local restaurant?
That's wonderful. What about the firefighting efforts? I'm curious if you have helped. I know that there's a lot of social media groups where, families of firefighters are like, they're coming up north, they need somewhere to stay. Were you at all instrumental in helping these firefighters find lodging?
Yeah, so one thing that we learned is that the Forest Service themselves has everything covered. They have a logistics department, but some of the contracted employee or contracted firefighting groups needed a little bit of help just with local logistics. They have people to cover it, but normally they're far away, so they're not queued up to all of the different local options that are available. So we were able to connect not a bunch, we connected quite a few groups with some local housing options that we knew about. So, because we were talking with local hotel and resort owners continuously. So we were able to just plug them in when we knew there was an opening.
Where would you say the biggest need was in this fire response?
I honestly think the biggest need is supporting Ely itself and supporting our like downtown and local outfitters and the resorts that have had to shut down. Really, the biggest need is in economics.
Interesting. What would your call be to anyone watching today? I know that we've been talking a lot about the smoke and the fires, and then it worries people. They're canceling reservations. Today, we're talking about, things opening back up again, access to the boundary waters starting to loosen, evacuations being lifted. What's the main message you want to get out to people?
My main message I want to get out is that Ely's open. We want you to come visit. The air quality has been really good. And if people want to support Ely from afar, we encourage you to see if any of the local stores that people love shopping at are open to book a trip for the fall. The fall happens to be one of the greatest times to be up here because there's no bugs and it's slightly cooler, but the water's still really warm. So we encourage people just to engage with Ely into the later part of the summer.
Wonderful. So you've been handing out free N95 masks. That's been a big need for you guys. Air filters also. But I also read that you've been collecting boundary water themed postcards for the firefighters to send home. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so a lot of firefighters like to write letters to send home, and it's really cool if we can give them ones from our area to send home almost as a little memento.
And Governor Walz stopped by today. What was that visit like? What did you discuss with the governor?
Yeah, it was really great that he stopped by and thanked us for the work that we've been doing. When he stopped in, we talked a lot about how this is going to impact us going forward in the city of Ely and the surrounding area, and the need for an economic relief package.
I know that this group, this Ely Community Response group, came together as a result of these wildfires. Do you see this group continuing? I know that you're closing your location at the Historic State Theater, so you're not accepting in-person drop-offs there after today. But do you see this group continuing into the future, and what role will it have?
Yeah, I see it continuing in some way into the future. I think that it will ebb and flow as there are needs in the community. So if some other thing comes up, I think that you will see this group pop up again. And it might continue on into the future in some sort of way where we can make sure we're educating people and preparing ahead for some of these future things that might happen in our community. But we have a meeting later this week really to discuss how this is going to go in the future.
Okay, well, you certainly have helped a lot of people, so there might be some good to do even when the wildfires are put out. What would you say the biggest need up there is still? Like, how can if people want to donate? I know you're closing the Historic State Theater in-person drop-off, but if people want to help, I know you said, like, come, patronize the businesses. If people want to help, what should they drop off? Where can they drop off? Where can they send money?
Yeah, if people want to send money, the United Way of Northern Minnesota, I'm gonna butcher that, but they are collecting money that will go to an Ely specific economic relief, and they are collecting money to disperse to local businesses and individuals in need.
So just because your physical location is closing does not mean that the need has stopped. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, there's still a need. It's going to take us years probably to recover from even this 2-week closure for our businesses that are seasonal based, and this was a big part of their season.
Is there still a need for things like masks and air filters to be donated, or are you guys good with that?
We are definitely good on those. We have a bunch that we still can give out, and if the air quality gets bad again, you'll see us pop up and be able to hand those out again.
Wonderful. Emily Roose, one of the founders of the Ely Community Response team. Thanks for joining the show.
Thank you.